He died and unveiled the spectacular surprises of heaven. Welcome to our exploration of near-death experiences and their deep lessons about life and death. We're here to share these powerful stories and shed light on the mysteries of existence. Whether you're a first-time visitor or a returning friend, we're glad to have you along for the journey. If you enjoy what we discuss, consider subscribing to stay updated with more insights. And don't forget to give our content a thumbs up to help others discover it too. So sit tight, unwind, and let's delve into the profound mysteries of life and what lies beyond. Let's dive into a near-death experience that occurred during a cliffside mishap. While the exact classification of this event as a near-death experience is uncertain, it was undeniably a terrifying incident. Back in the early 1970s, a teenager was out exploring nature with their family when they stumbled upon a cave near a lake. The cave was damp, with water making the rocks appear reddish. While the family found the cave thrilling to explore, things took a dangerous turn when the storyteller fell from a nearby cliff. Thankfully, they escaped with minor injuries. The storyteller's mother had cautioned against venturing too far into the cave due to safety concerns about falling rocks. From the cave's entrance, a glimmer of light hinted at a possible exit, likely daylight reflecting off the cave's damp surfaces. The storyteller speculated about another entrance above, prompting them to climb the cliff to investigate further. Upon reaching the cliff's summit, they realized there was no alternative exit. As the mother asked for her gloves back, intending to use them to break a rock, the storyteller began tossing them down. In a moment of misfortune, their footing slipped on loose pebbles, leading to a harrowing fall. During the fall, strange things happened. The storyteller noted a lack of control over their actions, with their knees buckling and legs pushing off just as they were about to hit the ground. This involuntary leap likely saved them from a direct collision with boulders at the cave's mouth, sparing them from severe injury or worse. The events surrounding near-death experiences like these remain shrouded in speculation and mystery. Without concrete explanations, the storyteller remains open to various interpretations, inviting curiosity and new ideas about life's inexplicable moments. This part gets really strange. I was up in the air, looking down at the earth. When my feet left the ground, the first thing I remember feeling was really scared and sad. It felt like everything I knew as a kid just disappeared, all the people, all the places. At first it was really upsetting, but then I got curious about what I was seeing. The earth looked amazing from up there. I thought the big brown parts, the continents, were the wrong color. I expected them to be green like the mountains where I lived, but they were mostly brown. I learned that different places have different colors. The oceans looked incredible, so huge, and the clouds came in all kinds of shapes and sizes. When I looked around, I saw stars, like the ones you see at night, but there were a lot more of them and they were super bright. They were so beautiful that I forgot about Earth for a while. One of the stars got bigger and started coming towards me. It was really bright. I could kind of see a human shape, like maybe a person with a staff and a robe, but because the light was so strong, I couldn't see any details. But I didn't feel like I was looking at a man or a woman. It felt like a warm, safe feeling. Being in this new place felt safe for a scared kid like me. I always thought that when I turned away from Earth I was looking at stars. Maybe they were all friendly beings instead of stars, but I'm not sure. There was a moment where I felt like I was seeing my life so far and what was going to happen in the future. It was like I was being given the choice to stay there or go back. It wasn't like someone said it out loud. It was more like I just understood it. At first I felt really emotional. I remembered how sad it was to lose everything. And then I thought, but I haven't done anything yet. When I opened my eyes, I was lying on the ground, looking up at the sky and the clouds through the branches of a big cedar tree. That was a really nice sight too. I must have had some really scary moments as a kid because the next thing I remember is my mum calling my name. She sounded scared that I wouldn't answer. I thought she'd be really upset if I didn't say anything. I thought about how the friendly feeling I had might be disappointed in me, so without really thinking, I answered her right away and got up. I wasn't hurt, just a little scratch on my leg. I landed among some branches and plants. My mum said it looked like I fell in slow motion, like I was being carried. I talked to my mum about what happened, but we never brought it up again until she got sick. She passed away from cancer 4 years later. When I visited her in the hospital, she'd hold my hand tight, like it gave her hope or a connection to something. Sometimes she'd drift off while still holding my hand. Watching someone die from cancer can make you feel powerless, like you're trapped. Even though I can't fully explain what happened in the cave, I'm grateful my mum felt hopeful. I want to acknowledge that if this is shared on the website, I know there might be people who've lost loved ones wondering why they couldn't be saved. All I can say is I'm sorry for your loss. I don't have all the answers. I don't think my life is more important than anyone else's. Maybe there was a spot where I could land safely if I fell. Maybe God put me there. I'm not sure. My mum believed in God, and so do I. There's too much violence, with countries fighting wars and leaders hungry for power and money, willing to hurt others to get it. It's not God causing all this harm, it's people. Maybe going through that experience made me realize how bad things can get. I don't want to sound preachy, but I wouldn't want to hurt others if I found out what happens after we die. Even though I try to stay open-minded, the universe is too incredible for me not to believe in something bigger. But that doesn't mean the comforting feeling I had was God. Maybe it was an angel or a spirit of someone who passed away, looking out for me. I'm not sure. The experience wasn't like anything I've seen before. Maybe there's a logical explanation, like some kind of energy science hasn't figured out yet. Maybe humans have a kind of energy that lives on after we die. It doesn't have to be a mystery. Part of me might say the shock of falling made me imagine the whole thing, like I made it up to cope with the stress. But that doesn't explain why my legs moved or all the little details that don't add up. So, even though I can find reasons to doubt it, deep down I believe there's something after we die. That's it for today's video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. My incredible vision of heaven unveiled. You won't believe what I saw. Welcome to Spiritual Ascension. Here we explore near-death experiences to uncover new perspectives on life and death. Our goal is to share these profound stories and help you make sense of life's mysteries. Whether you're new or returning, we're thrilled to have you join us on this journey. If you enjoy what you see, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for updates. And be sure to hit the like button to help spread our content to more people. So, sit back, relax, and let's dive into today's story. Meet Hannah. She'll share a remarkable experience she had, feeling overwhelming love and encountering a bright light. She'll also discuss her beliefs about what happens after we die. You won't want to miss this incredible near-death experience. Let's get started. I'm Kathleen Evans, and this is my story. It felt like I was being pulled away, moving backward without seeing the earth. There wasn't a tunnel, but it felt like one formed around me as I sped along, like the trails left by fast jets in the sky. Despite not understanding what was happening, I wasn't scared. That's when I realized I had left my body and died, but strangely I wasn't upset. As I slowed down, it felt like I was getting closer to my destination. I saw 6 spirits, all wearing clothes from when they were alive. They radiated incredible love, as if they had been waiting for me. I felt calm, happy, and free, surrounded by their unconditional affection. In this realm beyond the physical, everything is laid bare. There's no room for shame, guilt, or deceit. Complete understanding exists without the need for effort. It's already present. I feel compelled to explain because there's a stark difference between our physical experiences and the reality after death. Everyone can see your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs with perfect clarity outside of the physical body. Understanding is instantaneous. I couldn't see what these spirits had done in their earthly lives, but now, without sight, I could feel and understand who they were on the inside just as clearly as they could see me. All of this happens at lightning speed, with thoughts and emotions racing. I could see their mouths moving as they spoke, but I didn't hear as we do in the physical world. Time as we know it doesn't exist in this realm. Though it may seem strange, communication happens instantly, even though it might seem slow in physical terms. Time is irrelevant. And it's an amazing language, crystal clear, easy to understand, and completely free. I didn't hear a single voice, though. It's not like that. There's a tone that belongs to each soul, not something you hear with your ears. It might be hard for you to get it, but I'll do my best. Everything is happening all at once or overlapping at best. Imagine 1,000 things happening and everyone talking at once, and you understand every detail of it all. I could understand all 6 spirits talking at the same time perfectly, and I also knew what was deep in their hearts and tons of other stuff I got to learn, all at once. Because of how we communicate, souls are totally exposed. Plus, you feel it, and you know it's true. There's no doubt about what's being said, and I never question it. There's no need. I just know it's the real deal. I feel instantly free from all the limits of being in a body. It's like I've finally arrived. I don't remember thinking this place was my home. It was more like I just knew I belonged there. No doubts there, they're just not possible. Everything is crystal clear information. The big deal about this whole thing is love. I'm completely filled with a love that doesn't exist in our physical world. No matter how much you love your kids, it's nothing compared to this love. This is the purest, deepest, truest, most unconditional love you can imagine right now. I know what you're probably thinking, but I feel that way about my kids. I would have said the same thing, but it's way beyond what these words can explain, and I think it's because it's communicated to you through feelings. It's breathtaking. As I felt this love, my mind couldn't even process it. It's felt in your soul, and this overwhelming feeling of pure love just rushes into your heart like a wave of sensation. It can knock you down to your core. But not in a bad way. It's overwhelming in the best possible way. You'll never be the same after feeling it. It's pure bliss, everything you've ever wanted, and then some. I couldn't believe how loved I was. I still can't, and I never will. There's a bright light that I felt drawn to enter, but I couldn't from a distance. This light is like the beams of sunlight in a photo. When light is far away, it looks smaller, and the rays spread out as they move away from the source. But as the light gets closer to you, the source gets bigger until it's so close that it lights up everything around you. This light is where that knock your socks off love comes from, which is why my instinct was like, I want more, please. I'm going there. And that's not to say I didn't feel a ton of love from the specific people I met. I did. Einstein and a bunch of others were there, all eager to hang out with me. But when I realized there was even more love, and it was coming from someone who felt closer to me somehow, I wanted it even more. It was like this entity giving me all this love knew me the best. The love was out of this world, way more than what a mom or dad feels for their kid. So in a way I was drawn to this relative who wasn't like any relative we have in the real world. But it felt more real than any family bond. Now I think of this light as God. God, and I'm grateful this light showed me its love when I died. Now, let me try to put this experience into words we humans can understand, even though I think the details aren't as important as what I've tried to explain. When I got to where those 6 spirits were, they started loving me with their thoughts and feelings. I felt amazing and free at the same time. They were talking about whether I should stay somewhere I didn't know, but I was happy to stay where I was. It felt like a world of deep blue, not dark, just comforting. There wasn't any land. It was like they came to meet me in a place where there wasn't any land, but it felt more natural than soil. I can still picture their faces in my mind. They all agreed I should get to stay. I was over the moon. I had no plans of going back, not a chance. I was free from the jail of my physical body, my mind sharper than ever, and I had no idea that was even possible before I died. The love was like nothing else. I was never going back, happily. Then, I saw a bunch of images of space and its history. I didn't get everything, but it showed me how important it is to live life to the fullest. I felt like I was just watching, not really part of any discussions going on around me. Suddenly, a bright light showed up, grabbing everyone's attention. A woman came out of the light, surrounded by it. It's hard to explain, but it felt like she was the only thing I could see. The other souls had a peaceful blue background around them. Even though she looked serious, she loved me just like the other souls did. She wore an old-fashioned black dress and hat, with wrinkles showing her age. She stared at me intensely, while the other souls begged her to let me talk. But she stayed silent, focused on me. After their pleas, she just said, "She goes back." My heart sank. I begged her not to send me back, but she was firm. I cried and fought it, but before I knew it, I was floating above my body. I woke up to a nurse putting ice on my chest, telling me to wake up. I felt like I wasn't really in my body and didn't want to go back. The nurse kept telling me to open my eyes and eat ice chips to bring down my fever. Eventually, I passed out again. Check out this next near-death experience about a stubborn woman who died and tried to argue with God to stay in heaven.